Hello and welcome to Face Off. I am Nelta Igbe. Now, it's been an exciting period, and indeed Nigerians looked forward to this period of excitement. Everybody expecting that things are going to work out real good and real excitement everywhere. Now that we're building up to the elections proper, primaries have held, National Assembly primaries for all the political parties, or most of them have had their primaries for the National Assembly, and they are now going on with the governorship and presidential primaries. But in the midst of all of this, there have been complaints back and forth. Yeah. So I want to look at the most recent. We talked about internal democracy the other day, but now we want to look at it. How is it that democracy, the tenets of democracy, are not being followed through, even by those who preach it the most? Let's look at the one that's just happened, the People's Democratic Party primaries. They just finished the governorship primaries. But before the governorship primaries, there was the National Assembly primaries. And the underlying complaint amongst almost all those that complained had to do with, they say, what they call the parallel congresses or parallel primaries. So you find for one position, 3 or 4 winners being declared. Who is the authentic winner? The same thing applied to the governorship primaries across the country. Complaints here and there. Biggest of them, River State, 17 aspirants did not show up. Why? They say irregularities. They say their delegates were turned back from the World Congresses. They say they were not recognized. Well, you get to hear that. Yobe State, what happened? 3 out of 4 aspirants say they were not privy to the plans and arrangements for the primaries, so there was no primaries after all. Now, that was Yobe State. Enugu State, 2 primaries for the same position in different locations. Which one is the authentic one? Well, a potpourri of things. But I want to ask the question, why the Rancour? Was there no structure? Is there no constitution by which they could have had their primaries? What is going on? Well, these are some of the things we look at today on Face Up, and I have 2 gentlemen in the studio. One of them is a lawyer. He's an observer who's been observing things, and he thinks, it could have done better. So I'll begin by introducing him. He's Olu Akinola. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you.
On this other side is a strong PDP man from River State, Mr. Solomon Ogola, who believes everything was done right, and the results should not be contested, no, not by anyone. Mr. Ogola, welcome to the show.
Good evening.
All right. Gentlemen, there's been Rancour. So the question is, why the Rancour? And I'll begin with you, your opening statement, because we need to go on break real quick. So make it short. Why do you think there's been Rancour?
I think the basic reason why there's been Rancour is that our politicians want to flout rules, want to flout the guidelines laid down by their respective parties. So, and the desperation to win at all costs. And because of the issue of the anointed candidates across party lines, you see the desperation and the desperation to win at all costs.
Okay.
I think these are the issues.
Okay. So why do you think there's Rancour, Mr. Ogola?
I will have to agree with him to an extent that some bad politicians want to bend the rules. It's as simple as that, yes.
Okay, so you're agreeing with him?
To an extent, yes.
To an extent.
Yes.
I get you. Tell us what that extent is. Okay, we will take a break, and when we come back, we'll continue with the conversation. You can be a part of this conversation through our email handle, faceoff@channelstv.com, or through the Twitter handle. Join our conversations. Why the Rancour from the PDP primaries? Well, as we go on break, we'll listen to 2 aspirants, one from River State and the other from Yobe State, tell us what exactly their grievances are. We'll be back shortly.
Yobe State primary election is supposed to be conducted with 670 delegates. However, to our surprise and to the great shock of the members of our party, only 21 delegates were called in a room in Legacy House to conduct the so-called primary elections. I don't know how an election can be acceptable with over 600 249 delegates denied their own voting right. And there is no way 21 delegates can elect a governor in this country. This has never been done in the history of Nigeria. And I don't think we can allow it to go into our record that in this country, the greatest democracy in Africa, a governor can be elected by 21 out of 670 delegates. I will believe that there is no way the leadership of the PDP will accept this sham as primary election.
Reactions have continued to trail the PDP governorship primaries across the states. In Enugu, Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi is insisting his victory is the authentic one because it was based on the delegates list approved by the national leadership of the party. He says he will wait for the decision of the PDP leaders. But that's not the position of his Imo State counterpart, Ifeanyi Ararume, who lost to the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Emeka Ihedioha. The Director General of the Ararume campaign organization addressed the press.
The results of somebody must have been inflated by 10, somebody's result must have been inflated by 10 votes.
In Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital, the governorship candidate of the defunct People's Party of Nigeria in the 2011 governorship election in Ogun State, Mr. Agboyega Isiaka, was declared winner of the primary held at the party's secretariat. Mr. Isiaka polled 705 votes to emerge winner in a primary that did not get the blessings of the National Working Committee of the party. 9 governorship aspirants of the party, which included the former Speaker of the House of Representatives, Dimeji Bankwale, boycotted the primary. In his acceptance speech, Mr. Isiaka thanked the party for the confidence reposed in him.
We'll be waiting for is a candidate that's going to take over from him, and I think that candidate has emerged today.
And in neighboring Oyo State, the story of controversy persists. One of the aspirants in the PDP governorship primary election, Engineer Sheyi Makinde, described the election as illegal.
It's against the guideline, also against the court order.
The story in Kwara State took a more dramatic twist as delegates at the People's Democratic Party governorship primary preferred to sort out their differences with their fists. The bone of contention here is the authenticity of the delegates to vote at the primary election. At the venue of the election, there was palpable tension as delegates engaged in a free-for-all, as they accused one another of infiltrating the venue of the election with imported delegates. The unfortunate incident then led to the cancellation of the election by the state chairman of the party, Iyola Oyedepo. Reacting to the cancellation, 11 out of the 12 governorship aspirants blamed the leadership of the party in the state for the controversy engulfing the conduct of the primary.
Started by accusing me of tampering with the delegate list. They found out this thing even to the highest level of the party, and it was confirmed that I didn't tamper with any list at all.
This undemocratic and unpopular act signaled the beginning of the crisis that finally consumed the process.
But in a swift reaction, the party and one of the aspirants in the race to clinch the party's ticket have described the allegation as unfounded.
Okay, now those are just some of the reactions. We're still going to hear from Mr. Dumo Lulu Briggs of Rivers State, who says they believe that the party leadership will handle the whole matter. But let's get down to the studio here and hear what my guests have to say about this whole matter. You're going to ask a question?
Yes, my question is simple, is that in the light of all these things we've just seen on the screen, do we believe that the party is actually following the guidelines as laid down by the PDP itself?
Let's narrow down to Rivers State.
Right? Rivers State,
specifically. Very well. The party have been following the guidelines. I mean, very, very, very well. They have been doing that. And you can see that the primaries were very, very peaceful. It was peaceful, no problems at all. That
Sorry, did you say peaceful?
It was peaceful.
There was only one aspirant on ground.
Sorry?
Where were the other 17 rather?
17, if all of us now, for example, come to register for JAMB, and on the day of election or the day of examination, you decide to opt out, do you expect JAMB to shut the election, examination down because you refuse to come and write exams? No. They bought the forms, even though we know how they bought. Some of them bought their forms, because about 10 of the checks that was lodged into PDP's account came from the same account, the same bank.
Oh, so they are the ones that are airing?
That is what I'm saying. That is what I'm saying. Instead of them to go about canvassing for votes, like the candidates did, what they were busy sitting in Abuja waiting for endorsement, carrying caskets all about and all that. While this man was busy visiting the delegates, asking, begging them for votes. Besides that, it's not only him that contested the election. About 7 other persons contested, and they have their votes. So that when the unpopular system said that...
You make it appear that they are dooming candidates. So have somebody paid for them to disturb the primaries?
Very well. We know all that. They claim to be PDP members. They are not. At night, you see them cover their face with face caps and walk into the government house to see the governor.
Oh,
we know all that. So that is our place.
Is that how it works? That the governor who is in another party will be financing?
That is the situation we have found ourselves in River State.
Well, we don't have concrete evidence in this regard.
Well, when it gets to that, I will prove it to you.
Okay.
When it gets to that, I'll prove it to you. We know that we have the clips. At night, you see them cover their faces with their face cap and walk into hold meetings with him and then come out to talk about him in PDP.
Okay, I don't know if our producers have found that track by Juno Lulu Briggs, because